One of the masterminds behind the crazy train we've been on for the last 8 years was finally arraigned yesterday. Now, what does this mean? What does the arraignment of James Comey mean? Well, 2 weeks ago, we know that he was indicted by a federal grand jury on two charges. If I remember correctly, there were three, but they refused to indict him on one of them. I don't remember what that third one was, and I don't feel like looking it up. The two charges that he was indicted on are false statement within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the U.S. government and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. Videos are going all over YouTube, all over Twitter on some of the statements he made that were clear lies that we now know were lies thanks to the Trump administration, and that he knew were lies. So there's a difference when you're sitting there and you're testifying before Congress, or even if you're testifying before a judge in a trial and you lie, but you don't know you're lying. If you honestly believe what you're saying is true, then you're not guilty of perjury. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, as you understand it, that's what the truth is. Now, obviously, if you end up being charged with perjury, you have to prove you didn't know, and that can be more difficult. But from the evidence that we have from Tulsi Gabbard and the DNI and all of this stuff, it is pretty evident that James Comey knew that what he was testifying to Congress was a lie. He knew that the Steele dossier was wrong. He knew that Russia had not spent millions and billions of dollars trying to interfere with the 2016 election. He knew that Obama was just really angry that he wasn't going to be able to be the shadow president from 2016 to 2020 like he was from 2020 to 2024. They were so angry that Donald Trump won. The American people said, no, you know what? We're not going to do what you people want us to do. We're going to elect this guy that actually wants to work for us. Now, like I've said in the past, Donald Trump really messed up during that first term. He put all sorts of people in power. You know, if I remember correctly, he even kept Comey on for like 7 months. Like he wanted him to be the FBI director. And luckily he ended up firing him before, he could do even more damage. But yeah, so Congress subpoenas James Comey, has him come in and testify. And Comey just spends the entire day lying, propping up this failed investigation, propping up this illegal investigation that he and the intelligence agency had on the Donald Trump campaign. And they're finally going after him. Now, as great as it is that they're finally going after this cabal, let's call it, it still shows the difference between them and us. Rules for them, rules for you, and not for me. That's what it shows, because we didn't see, there's no mugshot, at least yet. James Comey wasn't arrested at 3 a.m. Federal agents didn't storm his residence. Remember the videos and the images we saw of the Mar-a-Lago raid? There were more FBI agents in that raid than there were Navy SEALs sent to take out Osama bin Laden. Don't forget that. That's how dangerous the former president of the United States was at the time. That's how dangerous he was. So what do I think is going to end up happening here? I think that he is probably going to end up being found guilty of one of these. I think he's going to be found guilty of false statement within the jurisdiction of the legislative branch of the U.S. government. Now, in my mind, it would be an unequal verdict, or the verdict wouldn't make sense for him to be found guilty of one and not of the other. But I just don't think that the jury is going to be able to comprehend finding the former director of the FBI guilty of both charges. I just don't think I don't think we're there yet. Now, I've said for the last 2 weeks, ever since he was first indicted, that what I think this is an attempt to get him to roll over. because we know he was in the room with Obama and everyone else talking about the plan. So that's what I'm hoping we get here. I'm hoping we get Comey to roll over and finger everyone else. And if we get that, if that's possible, then true indictments, true criminal charges against people who actually orchestrated an attempted coup could actually occur. I don't think it's extremely likely. I don't think you ever see the former president of the United States in court. Again, obviously, we've seen it the last 4 years with Donald Trump, but I don't think you see Barack Obama in court. I just don't think we get there. I think there's enough evidence to warrant an investigation, and I wish we knew it was happening. I will say, like I've said about this, federal grand juries can sit for anywhere from 2 months to a year. And so it is very possible that this federal grand jury has been sitting for quite a while. So they finished 2 weeks ago when they issued the indictment. They could have been hearing evidence for the last 3 or 4 months. This could have been, and this might have been one of the reasons that Trump has been so pro Pam Bondi. But what I wish is that we knew more about what was going on. Now, again, this kind of stuff is secret. It's secret for a bunch of reasons. One, you don't want the members of the grand jury in danger. The government doesn't want to tip their hand to what evidence they have. All this sort of stuff. There's a lot of reasons, and a lot of good reasons, that these kind of things can be more secret than some of us wish they were. But I feel like living in that secret world allows for too much stuff to get away with. It allows for people to get away with a lot of things. And if we continue to do that, then we risk some actually dangerous people, some evil people getting away with the attempted destruction of the United States. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what you think. Do you think we're going to get anything? Do you think we're going to get nothing? Love to hear what y'all have to say. Don't forget tonight, Legally Speaking, number 12. Peace out, guys.